Hey everybody, the Gav here, back at E3, right outside the Convention Center actually, and here with me is Noah Antweiler, or as you guys may know him better, the Spoony one from the SpoonyExperiment.com. So, how you doing, Spoony?
I'm doing well. Actually, I'm doing a lot better than the first day because, the first day it was really hectic, really hot in there, and I think the second day I'm pacing myself a little better. And actually I'm trying to I've figured out really what I want to see more, and I'm having a lot more fun. So, yeah, the first day a little hectic. It's a kind of a culture shock being in LA for the first time, actually. I don't know if you've ever been, but or do you live here?
I actually live in OC, and as a resident close to LA, I'm sorry.
No, it was just it's a lot different. I mean, this is such a huge city. It's very chaotic, a much different feel for this city. But it's kind of crazy around here, especially E3. Very excited. I've never been to E3 before, so this is kind of shocking on a lot of levels. A lot of people, a lot of stuff to see, too much to see.
Absolutely. So for those of you that don't know, the Spoony is, of course, the SpoonyExperiment.com, his own personal web domain where everyone who wants to know all that's awesome in gaming now and back then, go to see him. So talk us through a little bit. How did you get started, and what exactly is the SpoonyExperiment.com?
Well, the SpoonyExperiment.com is basically the site that hosts all my insane ramblings of all the stuff that kind of annoys me. Like, the general thesis of the site is, I just kind of review all the stuff I grew up with, and all the stuff that, as a kid, how my viewpoint has changed over the years. So all the stuff I used to love, like the Highlander movies, the Final Fantasy movies, and Bayou Billy. And how it really got started was I was never intending really to be like this huge internet reviewer type guy. It was really just a way to make my friends on a message board laugh. So I was on this message board, I'd talk about movies. I actually started out in journalism, where I was writing movie reviews for Knights of the Dinner Table. And so I had these huge written reviews of movies and games, and they're like, you should write more of this stuff. So I wrote more of this stuff. And actually, most people think I started after the Nerd started. I hadn't actually heard of the Nerd, but I saw a bunch of other YouTube critics that I'd seen. So actually, I discovered the Nerd third or fourth, and it was really good. And so really, it's all started with a bunch of improv videos that I did on the games that I found to be really impossibly hard at the time, like The Adventures of Bayou Billy. And so when I started doing that, I did Heroes of the Lance, which I also played, did a bunch of NES games because those were the easiest games to get footage for. And as it just evolved, I started getting YouTube followers. People were like, that's really funny. The process evolved. I started actually scripting the reviews, which I didn't actually do. I actually started planning out scenes and all that stuff. And so it's been a constantly evolving process to what you see now, where it's actually I consider to be fairly high production values. I got a green screen, I got costumes, I got various characters. I'm having collaborations with all these characters from thatguywiththeglasses.com, another great site with a bunch of funny critics who I'm here with actually, like Juario and Angry Joe, and you can see a lot of their coverage online. Just go to theangryjoeshow.com to see his E3 coverage. Gonna be great stuff. So that's how the site started.
Now, we got a lot of questions when we originally said that we were going to be interviewing you. A lot revolved around the fact that this is your primary line of work. At least that's what people understand, and they just wanted to know exactly how you maintain that and how that works as a primary line of work. It must be incredibly busy.
Well, sometimes it's hard to take seriously a lifestyle where you play games and watch movies for a living and then just kind of bitch about them. So, you do have to take it seriously, and it's easy to say it's like a dream job when you're doing this stuff, but it really is a filmmaking process. And so it becomes a lot less attractive when you discover that it really is your job and you have to play these horrible games, 8 to 10 hours out of the day. So it's people think it's it's fun playing video games. I'm playing very bad video games. I'm watching very bad movies. I'm not sure what was the question again.
Just how do you maintain this being your primary line of work, and how does that affect your lifestyle?
How do I maintain it? If I don't do it, I starve. I have to keep some product going out all the time. I have to keep working because if I don't do it, I don't produce videos. If I don't produce videos, then there's no ad revenue and no dinner. So that's how I do it. It's a survival thing.
Yeah, I don't think there's any better motivation there is. But you said earlier on that this is your first E3, so I wanted to get your perspective. What do you think of the show so far? We are only in a little bit of the second out of 3 days, so what do you think?
Chaotic. So much to see. At every intersection you go to, there's 3 halls. You could spend a day in each hall and not see everything. So when you're one guy, you go to an intersection and you do a 360, you look around, there's 8 to 12 games being demoed on various systems. You got so much to do, so much to see. It's hard to decide what to cover. So even if you covered all the major releases, all the major studios, you could still spend all 3 days and not see all the major releases, not play them all. So it's kind of a balancing act, figuring out what you want to do. Like basically, what I did was I asked my fans what they wanted to see, like they wanted to see things like Deus Ex 3. They wanted to see games like the Kinect, the Nintendo 3DS, which I still need to see because I've heard it's awesome. Wario actually told me that it's amazing. 8-Bit Mickey's here as well. He told me it's amazing. So in a word, it's overwhelming just to pick out of all this stuff, like thousands of games. All these new devices that are coming out. Basically, I have to narrow it down to what my fans are interested in, what I'm interested in, and really what catches my eye.
Well, speaking of what catches your eye, if you can think, if the convention ended right now, what is the best thing that you've seen so far, and what is the one thing that you really need to see before you leave?
Nintendo 3DS is the one thing I really need to see. If there was a second thing I really need to see, it's the Kinect, because I've seen it at a distance, and I tell you the truth, I wasn't really that impressed, but I was probably looking at the wrong games, because I've heard there's a dance game for the Kinect that looks really good, but the 3DS is probably going to be like the real, I'd say sleeper hit, but probably the big hit that people are going to be most enthused about that one. The things that I was most impressed with, like if they were to end today, I've already raved about the big games that I really loved were Deus Ex 3, Human Revolution. Great demo. We had a behind closed doors demo and an interview with the lead designer. Very impressive. I hope the game lives up to the hype because I hyped it to the stars for this one. Second one that I was really impressed with was Shogun 2 Total War. I had another interview with Sega. They did a demo. That one's a way off. They only said they would only commit to like a 2011 release, and they seem kind of even hazy on that one. But the historical accuracy they're going for, the improvements in the artificial intelligence, the streamlining of the units and the combat strategy, the graphics are amazingly reworked for Shogun Total War. Just like the environmental effects, like 4 different seasons, how each season is portrayed differently. Like we were wowed by the trees in that game. Like I think they said 56,000 units simultaneously on screen, and they basically showed us that going on. Looked really seamless, really amazing graphics, like with rain coming down, the rain's coming off their armor. The fact that you can have these heroes and like the various speeches they're bringing back, if you remember Rome Total War, the characteristics of the generals, like the insane generals, the charismatic generals, the heroes and the rakes from Napoleon Total War, things like that. Really impressive stuff.
Absolutely. All right, well, we got one more question, and I hate to end on this, but it was the most requested question when I said I'm going to interview with you. Everyone wants to get into your line of work. Most people know that they can't, but for those that really want to try it, what can you say to them to get them started, to get them motivated to do it?
Okay, well, I think the first real question you have to ask yourself when you're trying to get into this line of work is, are you comfortable on camera? You have to be. Because if you're afraid of getting in front of the camera, if you're uncomfortable, if you don't have a natural flow in front of the camera, if you can't be fast on your feet trying to think of stuff, that's the first thing you really got to get out of the way. I mean, I've seen a lot of critics with a lot worse equipment than I do who put on a much better show in many regards. I've seen a lot of reviewers never get in front of the camera. But you have to find your style. You have to find a method and a way that you think is funniest, and you need to keep refining your style to be a more comfortable host, to be more natural, so the fans can relate to you and feel that you're an authentic guy, to feel like you are actually playing these games and it emotionally impacts you, and so they trust you with your reviews, and like they may not agree with you, but they trust you in that you know like this kind of gamer right now is reviewing this game, and this is how he feels about it. So like, I mean, production values are great, but they don't make a game. So like if like people ask me like, what kind of camera do you have, what editing software do you use? You need to find your own way. I mean, I can answer those questions, but it's really finding a distinctive style, not trying to copy what other people have done necessarily. I mean, that's not a big problem. Like if you can do it, nobody's reserved games that like this is my game. Somebody else can do Bayou Billy. I don't care, but it's really a stylistic thing, and it's a matter of comfort. And I think that's really it. It's just a matter of finding your own style.
Okay, just make sure to credit the Spoony One and Elder Geek in your first video for giving you this kind of advice. And if you want to see any more of this footage or anything else from E3, the best there is, head on over to elder-geek.com. Thanks a lot, Spoony.
No, thank you for this opportunity, man.